Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to my YouTube channel MyStudy. So in this video we are going to discuss about how one can access those all AI IAM related operation from the command line interface. Okay, so let me just quickly go to management console, and now instead of from local machine we are just going to access the same thing via Cloud Shell, because the Cloud Shell provides us the same flexibility and it has this AWS CLI by default installed. So in a future video also we are going to use the same one. I'm just going to open this in a new browser tab. So we'll have a more room here to do this operation via console. Okay, so first ever thing is let me just make sure is there any authenticated user currently available or not. So AWS version. Oops, I guess I have to write like yeah, so AWS version, you can have a look at, it's currently installed and its font size also largest. Okay, let me clear the screen. Now I'm just going to fire the very first ever command, but before I fire for anything, I just want to show you some of the common patterns how this AWS CLI command being structured. So the very first thing, always it will be like a AWS. So everything starts with the AWS. So that's like a CLI for AWS. Next thing is for which particular service you want to perform some operation. So here if you just press tab multiple times, there are a lot of possibility. Let me just display few possibility. Like you want to perform some operation for account, or you want to perform some operation for other service like OSIS, or maybe Airflow, or maybe something like a pinpoint. Okay, so you can see anything you can do. So this way there are a lot of services are available. Okay, see S3, and among them we are interested in one of the service in this video, that will be IAM. So that is identity and access management. So let me just search for where is IAM. Yeah, see this is the IAM, IoT, and this is IAM. So that's where we are interested. So the very first thing is, let me just come out from here and I'm just going to clear the screen. So AWS IAM. Now within AWS IAM, what do you want to do? So just press tab and all the possibility will be displayed here. So here also there are a lot of possibility. There are few we are going to have experiment with that. So you will be able to see, you can list group, you can list user. There are a lot of list related operation, lot of create related operation. We have a lot of delete related operations currently being supported. That is most of the things what you can do from the AWS console. You will be able to do same thing from AWS CLI also. Okay, so the very first one where we are interested, let's say listing of existing user, let's say this one. Okay, and the same thing, if I just go to my IAM from my console, let me just show you what are the current users are available, and that's what we are interested to list down from the AWS CLI. So I'm just going to use AWS IAM, and that will be list. If you do not get the exact action which you want to apply, or like a command you want to apply, just type few characters and press tab. So within a list there are a lot of possibilities, so all those possibilities being displayed. We are interested in users. See, list user also has a lot of, like a list user policies, list users, and list user tags. So let me just list down list user, and it will give me all the users. So currently there is one user by default authenticated, and which thing I have already discussed in the earlier, so I'm not going to repeat it. If there is no authenticated user in this particular AWS CLI environment, so in that particular case, so particular one, let's say to the particular like John or Bob currently available, so you can generate I would say some access key for individual user, and via those access key you can authenticate with that user. So currently all 4 user currently being displayed. Okay, now everything being displayed here as a JSON. Okay, let's say the same information I just want to display with some other formats, something like let's say tabular format. Okay, how one can do it? So let me just go ahead with the same command. Let's say is there any help will help us? Okay, so you do not need to write double hyphen, just press put help, and it will give us the complete detailed documentation for whatever command you want to apply. So list user is a paginated operation, so all the users that will be currently is available in a IAM user that will be listed here. So I am interested in a format. So is there any version? Okay, output, see output. So this output we can, I think, specify the format. Let me just go with what are the possible values for this option output. So let's just search for it. So this way you can explore more about the documentation directly from here. Let me just go a little faster. See output. So output, what are the different output possible? So with this output option, instead of displaying all those data, by default it's a JSON, you can display it as a text, as a table also, as a YAML also. So let's just try with all three, so we'll get a better idea. Text, table and YAML. So I'll just go ahead with hyphen output, let's say text. So here the output you can have a look at being displayed as a text. Let's say same thing, I just want to display as a table. See, user ID, ARN name for individual user, create date, password updated, path. So few things being displayed. If I just press enter, more information will be displayed. If you just want to come out from your last output, just press Q. Okay, let me clear the screen, and the last format also I want to show you. And later on maybe this tabular format works best for us. And this is the way with YAML format it's just gonna display. Okay, so that is, I guess, enough about the output format. Now let's just see what operations one can perform with this AWS CLI, specifically for identity and access management. Okay, so we have seen how to list the user. Now let's see how one can create the user. So for that we are going to use the same one, but in AWS IAM as a services, but within that there has to be something like a create user. Okay, so we have a create user. See, so I can use like create user. Within a create user, if you don't understand anything, just press I would say help, and you can see we have a path, we have username needs to be given. There are a lot of options you can specify, but there has to be some value which should be default, and there has to be some value which is mandatory. Okay, apart from that you can just simply ignore. In case you ignore it, all those value will be taken by default, but there has to be name has to be given. Okay, so for that we have options available like a user name, I guess. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this username, the name of the user to create. Okay, no other things, it's not a mandatory at a one shot to define it. Okay, so for now let's just use the user. Is there any sample command they have given or not? I'm not sure. We can use those sample if they have given. Okay, for now let's just go ahead with the username. Let's say user hyphen name. So here the user we are going to create, that is user from CLI. So I've just given the name like a user from CLI. So this is like an option, like a key, and for which the value which we want to supply, that is user from CLI. Let me enter. Okay, so there are some issue. Then error occurred when calling the create user operation. This particular user is not authorized to perform this action because for the Bob, whatever access key I have generated, I haven't provided him any update related policy. We have just assigned the IAM read only access. So if you just try to do same thing, see, earlier we tried to list down the user. Now if I just try to list down, let's say everything, I'm just going to display as a table. instead of user, let's say groups. Okay, is it a group or groups? Groups, I guess. Yeah, so groups being displayed. So because the policy which is being associated, that is just the read only policy, we are interested in a complete IAM access. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to assign one more permission. Now same thing we can do via CLI also, but for now, very first time, definitely you have to do it from here, because there we don't have any permission. Okay, so I'm just going to assign IAM full access, add permission. Okay, done. Now I'll just go ahead with the create user from CLI, and bang on, you can see user ID being created with this ARN, creation date, and username is user from CL. Okay, I just wrote CL instead of CLI, but that's perfectly fine. Now how I can verify, so I can just list down all the user directly here, and okay, not YAML I'm interested in a table. Yeah, see, user from CL being displayed. Now the same thing, if you just go to your management console, then also if you just refresh, there'll be one more user being created. If you just go inside, you can have a look at no policies being attached. That is part of one group by default, admin. A user group is, so that is like a default stuff. Okay, there is one tag also being attached, like a purple. Okay, no, not this user I'm talking about. It's a user console. Just now we have created, that is user from CL, and that is a part of no group. Okay, because it has to be part of no group, because we aren't attached with any group. No group, no permission, no policy, no tags, no security credential. Okay, so just the plain user being created. So we have seen how to create a user, how to list down all the user. Now let's say if you want to update some user, let's say we have a Bob. Okay, now Bob name, I just want to change it. I just want to change it to, let's say, something like a Bob new. Okay, so I'm just showing some simple operation. Later on you can just always take it forward and perform almost all operation via CLI. Okay, now instead of list user, create user, let's see, is there any update user? So within update also a lot of things. Update access key. Wait. Update group. Update. Yeah. See, we have update user. So I'll just go ahead with update user. Okay. Now within a user, if I don't understand anything, let me just go ahead with a help. Okay. So something in a documentation, I'll get it. So I just want to change the username. Okay, so username will be value, and here we have a new username. So this way you have to provide the new tag, because only name I just want to change it. Let me just copy it. Let me just come out. Let me clear the screen, and I'll just use, there are two flags or I would say two options you need to use it. One is user name, and for which user you want to update it. So let's say Bob. Okay, for Bob, and with what name you want to change it. So that will be -- new user name, and with what name you want to update. So that will be Bob new. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so no error. Hopefully it is being updated. I can just refresh from management console, and you can see the name being changed. Let's say I want to simply delete the user. Let's say this user from CLI, whatever we have created just now, I am not interested in it. Anyhow, I am already having a lot of user, so I'll just use like IAM delete. Definitely within a delete user, I can use like a help, and what things you need to supply here. See, delete user and username. I guess this is good enough. I can just simply go ahead with user name, and with what username I want to do it. So user from CLI. I just try to paste it, and it has given me some warning that you might, whatever you are pasting, that might contain some malicious trick. That's perfectly fine. Okay, it has not pasted correctly, but that's fine. I can copy and we paste, and bang on, no error. If I just try to refresh, no user from CL what we have created that is available. So almost all operation, specifically CRUD operation related to user we have seen. Now I don't want to go ahead with any other operation because there are a lot of operations are available. But if I just try for listing down all the possibility after AWS IAM, let me display all possibility. You can definitely attach some policy. You can list MFA devices, everything you can do. This is just to give you an idea that how you can proceed ahead. You can list down all the roles. You can even deal with the groups. So group related operation, create groups, then attach some policy with the group, or you want to, let's say, add some user within a group. So everything, almost all operation, you can just have a look at, and it's very self-explanatory. You can always go ahead. And now before I just wind up for this particular video, there are, let's say, one of the things I just want to show you. Let's say to the Bob, I just want to attach some policy. Okay, so I can just go ahead like a user, or I will go ahead with let's say something like attach. See, within attach we have a attach user policy. Very neat, straightforward. Okay, now what policy I want to attach? So currently in a Bob new, the user which is having a IAM full access, IAM read only access, IAM user change password. Let's say one more policy I want to add it. Okay, any random policy, I'll just take it. Let's say some S3 related stuff. I just want to show you that the same thing I can do it via command line also. So for that, there is a one ARN is associated. So those ARN, I'll just things got disconnected. Okay, so attach user policy. Okay, operation you want to perform, under which user I want to do it. So that will be Bob new. So Bob, okay, is it N capital within a Bob? Yeah, small. So Bob new. Okay, now after that, let's say I don't know, so I'll just go ahead with the help. Okay, they haven't provided anything related to help. Okay, so they are expecting arguments like a policy ARN, that which policy you want to attach. So that's a nice help, policy ARN. Now I know that every single resource in AWS being identified with this ARN, Amazon resource name. So I can just copy this ARN S3 full access, and let me just provide it here. Okay, let me go ahead, and no error. So I'm expecting that it is being attached. Let me just go to Bob new, and we have a permission, so I can refresh, and you can see Amazon S3 full access being attached. Now this policy I don't want for now, so I'll just remove directly from here. I can do it from the command line also. Okay, so this way there are many operations we have seen how one can perform on identity and access management of AWS via command line interface. So I hope you enjoy listening this video, and please do like and comment on my video, and please do subscribe my channel so that I can keep creating such a kind of useful, informative video on AWS Amazon Web Service. I'll catch you in the next one.